I see a smile on your face. You always say I'm changing, but I only change the pace. You're following your dreams, and I know I do the same. But see, lately you're the only thing I'm needing that I chase. And I hate the fact that you only listen to what they say. I've never been the type to listen, now they hit the replay. It's funny how these things happen, never had a delay. Cause everything I'm seeing comes to life, and I don't see fake. I only see the real in you, probably why I fell in. I'm writing all these letters, you would think that I'm a felon. I'm going crazy, always buying what you're selling. And yeah, I know I'm stubborn, I hear nothing like I'm Helen. But once I make it, you'll have everything you want. I'll put you at the top when I get on. Yeah, I just wanna put the queen of buddies' pawns and carry out the story when you're gone. See a smile on your face. You always say I'm changing, but I only...
Good evening from the UK, all my lovely Bitcoin friends. This is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back with another video in my series Bitcoin for Beginners. And as always, have a strong Bitcoin hand. This show, the name of the game on this show is... stack your sats, get them off an exchange onto a Trezor, do nothing, get on with life, wait, get wealthy. That's it. You know what that does? That removes the noise. If you can drown out the noise, you're going to do all right in Bitcoin. If you are looking to jump into something now and make money right away and fast money, Bitcoin is not for you people. So keep that in mind. That is what this channel is about. Welcome to my friends, my regulars. Rocky Palumbo, I can see you there. Bitcoin and the boys, great to have you. Buffy W, Zaza's in, Elaine, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master. Bitcoin to the moon, my good friend down in Australia, pounded the likes earlier. He's probably sleeping now because he's almost 12 hours ahead of us. But he did pound the likes. He always does. So thank you very much to my good friend down there. Video and audio good. Rocky, thank you very much, people. I appreciate that. The feedback's always good. Today is the 16th of December 2019. And crikey, we are racing, we are galloping towards 2020. We are galloping to that new decade. The decade that offers us all so much for those of us willing to hold, that have those strong hands and do what this says, if I can get it the right round, hodl. It says, don't panic, hodl. All you need to do, people. So, please follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. I am on bitbacker.io at UK Bitcoin Master. I've just started uploading all my videos to another YouTube alternative called BitChute, or BitChute, however you want to say it, just as a hedge, because you never know. YouTube are doing all weird and wacky things at the moment with all the changes they're making. So all the videos that I've done in the past, I'm going to be uploading them and bringing them up to date. And then as I do these 2 weekly videos, I'll then upload them to that BitChute channel as well. So if you want to head over to BitChute / UK Bitcoin Master, you'll find me over there. I've done an intro video to explain them, that I'm uploading them all, and then I'm going to start uploading several a day until I'm up to date. So support me over there. That'll be absolutely superb. As always, I want to just pump my good friend Dan, just earned Bitcoin's Bitcoin bracelet. Don't you just love that Bitcoin bracelet? I certainly do. I think it's really cool. So the links, when we finish, the show notes will be updated, and you'll see bitcoinbracelets.com if you want to get one there. So you can head over and check that out. If I can quickly, disclaimer, whether you're watching this in December 19 or December 29 or 39, this is not financial advice. I am just Brian, the UK Bitcoin master. I'm a regular guy who came across Bitcoin in mid-2017, never heard of it before, got excited, went down the rabbit hole, and I just want to share my enthusiasm, my passion, try and help people get the same belief here that I've got, that Bitcoin is the future. Bitcoin is going to take control away from dirty, filthy governments and banks and financial institutions that want to milk us dry, and it's going to put sovereignty back in the hands of the people. It is going to put sovereignty back in the hands of those people open to wake up, go down the rabbit hole and understand what Bitcoin is. That's the real nature of the beast here. I've got the chat going on my big screen over there, but if you want to draw my attention, if you want to get my attention, please, you need to copy and paste Brian, the UK Bitcoin master, and put that in your message before you type anything. That's the only way it'll stand out from all the other messages that are going up and down in the chat. So if you do want me, like Rocky did, he did that, and video and audio good, I saw it in a heartbeat. So Casso, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us. As always, I seem to have got this little Bitcoin bubble of a family, which I love. And I'm hoping, really hoping, that with my honesty and my sincerity and my passion, I can inspire people to share my links so that we can build a community of honest, integrity-driven, ethical, ambitious, motivated, passionate and excited Bitcoin people. That's all I want to achieve. Okay, so who do you know who wants to be inspired, who wants to learn about Bitcoin from the ground up? Get them to find this channel. So, but it's not financial advice. Nothing I give is financial advice. So don't take it as. It's just me with my passion. A couple of websites there. ukbitcoinmaster.com and bitcoininterviews.com. Well, the top one says it all. It is where I house all the interviews I've done and I will do in the future. The UK Bitcoin Master one is simply where all the videos are housed, along with those other platforms I mentioned earlier. The squares will come up at the end. You can click on them and it will take you to either of these. Very sad, but Rocky only recently introduced me to Bottle Pay, but Bottle Pay have just closed their doors because they just refused to be regulated. So I take my hat off to them for having the power, the strong hand to say, you are not manipulating me, governments. But equally, you know, it's a great way of moving Bitcoin around cheaply, and you can't do it anymore through the Lightning Network. So that's really sad. So if you do want to drop me a tip, and you don't have to, I'm not doing this for financial gain. You know, you'll see my link, tipping.me/@UK Bitcoin Master. If you want to drop a Lightning tip, that's fine, but I don't expect it. So that's done. Let me get that out of the way. Let me bring up my desktop and let's see what we're going to talk about this evening here in the UK. And I can't Adam and Eve that. I've just lost my settings. Can you guys just bear with me for one moment while I reset everything, because it's gone and moved. There we go. Let me just straighten it up a little bit, peeps. So as you can see, Bitcoin's around the 7K mark, dollars that is, 771. So loads of people are flat and on the floor. John Stramitis, welcome from Malibu. Good to have you with us. I've just noticed you've just registered. So the Bitcoin price is down. Does that bother me? Not in the slightest. Why? because my time preference is long-term thinking, people. I'm not in this for what's going on with the price today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I'm in this for what's going to happen to Bitcoin over the coming 4, 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years for my descendants when I'm gone. I'm hoping I'll see Bitcoin change the world and start to make those governments and those banks get uneasy about it all. But of course, they're not going to go down without a fight. So a lot of the noise that you're going to hear that I encourage you to tune out of is them batting back against this new money, this new store of value. You must understand that. Okay. So don't worry about the day-to-day price. Don't look at it. Just as Rocky taught me, if you zoom out and look at 2009 to today, the steady growth of Bitcoin is around 30 to 40% in an upward direction between two lines. But of course, between those lines is shooting up and shooting down and shooting up and shooting down. You are never going to stop that. Okay. So if you want to not ride the roller coaster of emotion, don't look at the short-term charts because they'll freak you out. They really will. So what else have I got I can talk to you about? I found a few articles here worth just having a look at. Oh, I just want to move this out of the way. You know, in terms of, do we want Bitcoin to get popular? Do we want more and more people to hear about Bitcoin, know about Bitcoin? Well, billionaire philanthropists like Bill Pulte, I don't know how you say that. He's American. He's just announced that he's bought 11 Bitcoin. Can that be good for the space or bad for the space? Well, what is it going to do? The more we hear about people like this, influential people, the more the ordinary folk, hopefully, we're going to find some 20%ers out there amongst them all that are going to come in and say, wow, I need to check this thing out. Here's my take. I actually feel when you look at, there's very little retail Bitcoin going on. It's all institutional. I just feel that some of those wealthy banks and institutions are just going to get wealthier because they're piling into this thing behind the scenes, whereas ordinary folk are just missing the boat, which always happens. That's the 80%ers, as Bitcoin Meister says. I call it more like 90 to 95%ers, that by the time they pile in, it's all over. It's done. You know, the big growth, the big push has happened again. We'll get a rerun of 2017's high. People are buying at the top, then it will crash down again. Then they'll sell out again. Then the banks will mop it up cheaper again. And the cycle just goes on and on and on. But people like this dude buying Bitcoin and announcing that he's bought Bitcoin, you know, on places like Twitter, that can only ever be good for the overall adoption of Bitcoin. US Fed to print over 400 billion in quantitative easing for New Year. So they're saying that in January, by mid-January, they would have probably propped up the ecosystem in America by another $425 billion. That is printing money out of thin air. That is making your dollar, my pound, or whatever it is, worth less and less and less. Because you see, they can do this. They can just print money out of thin air. And by the time they've added this into the US economy, they would have added 3 times Bitcoin's total market cap in a heartbeat. And this is what we're trying to fight against, because Bitcoin can't be inflated like that. Okay? Bitcoin's scarcity, this is why we've got this battle going on, and this is why there's two sides of a camp. One camp thinks everything's going to crash and crumble to nothing. I happen to believe that somehow, some way, they'll manipulate it so that the dollar continues, and the 80, 90, 95% as whatever your beliefs are will always have and use that dollar. But then you'll have that small group, and I'm proud to say I'm part of that, that have dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin. They've built their sats, they've built their stash, and they're going to get wealthy, and the kids are going to get wealthy, and they're going to opt out of that dollar system, that pound system. Well, whatever. Actually, you know, everything's backed by the dollar. We know that. So this is just crazy. Every time I see this, I think, I don't know much. I haven't got much of a brain really. But what I do know is you can't just keep printing money out of thin air without eventually something going pop, if that makes sense to you all. Whoa, did I just click? Nope. I lost one of my articles and I couldn't find it again, and I'd lost it 20 minutes before the show. So I went in search of something and I found an article about the amount of women that are coming into Bitcoin. And I couldn't find it again. So I found this one. It says number of women engaging crypto community. I think the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I'm not sexist in any way. I'm not one of those MGTOWs in any way, although everyone each to their own and I've got nothing against them. But I'm very happily married. Second time around, I believe that I have my soulmate who's on the call with us right now. But, do I mind if more and more women come into the space? No. I don't care if it's a man, a woman, an it, a he, she, whatever you want to call what we've got in society today. Okay, I just want smart people in this space, and that doesn't need to be men, women, whoever, just smart people that can help us drive this adoption forward. So I love it when I see articles like this. I found several smart women actually in the crypto space. Some of them are more crypto than Bitcoin, I have to say, but nevertheless there are some Bitcoin women out there, and I believe we'll get more and more and more, and I don't think that's a bad thing. So the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. Bitcoin is the decade's best investable asset. Now, this is a pretty powerful article. Let me see if I can't move it up and see what it had to say. I did highlight something, but I can't find it. What was it? BAML has a list of the best worst asset classes of the decade. It says there, best Bitcoin, $1 in 2010, 90.026 today. Worst Myanmar Kyat, $1 in 2010, 0.004 today. For comparison, US equities, $1 in 2010, $3.46 today. Which is the one performing, people? Which is the one that we keep trying to pump that people need to get into? It is the one that's got the best chance of growth, the one that's got the scarcity aspect, the one that's immutable, uncensorable, unconfiscatable, and all those lovely niceties that I just love saying. Bitcoin, no financial advice given, just my own personal viewpoint. But when you look at the facts, Bitcoin streets ahead. Bitcoin is out there. It is the place to get into. I'm absolutely convinced of it. Do I know for sure? Of course I don't. I haven't got a crystal ball. All I know is it feels right. And I had family round the other night, and my stepdaughter's new fella, we were mucking around playing some games because we've had an early Christmas with them. And all of a sudden, I think my stepdaughter started showing him my YouTube channel, and he turned around and said, my workmate's he's well into Bitcoin. Great conversation. Now he's going to log in and check out some of the channels, and he got the spark from me when I said about why people should get into Bitcoin. So that's all we need to keep doing, people, is just spreading the word one person at a time. From transactions to Bitcoin betting sites, how far has Bitcoin spending come? Miles, huge. Jewellery, flipping Starbucks. I think there's a list of them down here. Hang on a sec. Sports books, casinos, there's jewellery, education, space travel, Virgin Galactic's involved in it now and they're into Bitcoin, Forex trading. My goodness, it goes on. Where to next? Well, here's the thing. Where to next? I just believe that going forward, it will be all about Bitcoin. Bitcoin will underpin everything, but not today. And maybe not in 2 years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't know, but it is worth hedging and putting a bit of a bet on Bitcoin. Disclaimer again, if you invest into any type of currency, asset, cryptocurrency, only invest what you can afford to lose. because this could go down as well as up, but I believe that's a 99.9 up percentage chance and a 0.01 down percentage chance, because anything can go to zero, can't it? But Bitcoin's got a 10-year history now. If you start going down the rabbit hole, you'll learn what I've learned and you'll get the same feelings, I'm sure. I found a few tweets that I want to talk about. Plan B. He divides people. People either love him or hate him, but he's got a pretty level head on his shoulders. I have reached out to him because I'd really love to get him on my show, but as with all of these big hitters, they don't respond to their DMs, which is sad because I would love to get him on the show and talk Bitcoin. But Dutch finance minister caught lying to Parliament, ignoring legal advice and secretly cooperating with Dutch central bank to implement draconic law to destroy crypto industry, abusing anti-money laundering and terrorist financing arguments for totally different purpose. That is what's going out there, people, in parliaments around the world and banking, manipulating figures, etc. And it's just, you've got to get into the Bitcoin overlay where you can get into an environment where you can start to don't trust, verify. That's an important statement. Don't trust, verify. Really important. Dan Heddle, I saw this, I don't know who he is, but Bitcoin promises an alternative for citizens across the world to keep their savings in a form of money that can neither be confiscated nor diluted. If Bitcoin grows much larger, it may force governments to become a voluntary organisation. Through hodling, we may finally be free. Get in there, Dan Heddle. What a superb tweet, because that is what I believe. We can set us and our families financially free with this, but we can't unless we understand it, take time to get down the rabbit hole, dollar cost average in, and build your Bitcoin pot up. That's the important bit. But what a great tweet. Rhythm Trader, I refer to loads. What's the true power of Bitcoin? A single transaction of 94,504 Bitcoin was recently moved for a $700 fee. That is $1 million of Bitcoin in a single transaction moved for $700. $1 million? When I lived down in the Canary Islands, I couldn't even move £2,000 from my British bank account to my Spanish account without all sorts of hassle and hoops and what am I doing and what's it for, and it was a total train wreck. It really was. Western Union, when we tried to send money to my stepdaughter out in Egypt, were just con artists and rip-off merchants. And here we are, $1 million being moved for a $700 fee. No government, bank or third party had to verify the transaction, nor could they have stopped it even if they wanted to. Oh, that makes a hair stand up on the back of my neck, because this is like, what a time to be alive, people. Rory. Okay, I'm going to read this, but I am not saying gold is a Ponzi scheme. Disclaimer, I'm not saying that personally. Gold is a Ponzi bubble that popped in the late 80s and has never returned to its all-time high. It has historically struggled to find buyers except in times of dire economic uncertainty. Early adopters like Mr. Schiff, there he is again, won't stop shilling their bags and need to find buyers to keep the Ponzi going. I'm not saying it's a Ponzi. I am saying if you look at this chart, 1970, I believe, on the bottom left, up to 2018, look at what has happened to the price of gold. Whereas if you turn that round from 2009 to 2019, look at what's happened to the price of Bitcoin. And if that continues, where would you rather place your hard-earned dollars, pounds, euros, yen, whatever, in gold or in Bitcoin? I know where I've put mine. Bitcoin Tina, bottoms always feel bad. If you're new, bottoms mean when the price gets at its lowest point. Okay, are we there yet? Hard to know. This is mid-December 2019. Are we there yet? Hard to know. Sentiment is terrible. People are agitated. Wives are telling you Bitcoin is going to zero. Give up on it. Time to be a seller? Absolutely not. Time to buy more and hold? Absolutely yes, people. That is exactly how I feel. The more it drops, the more you are going to buy more Bitcoin for yours and your family's future on sale. Vortex. I love Vortex. He's been on my show. I want to get him back on again. I love his philosophy. Everything will be forced to acknowledge Bitcoin, whether that means preparing to work with it or preparing to work against it. Regardless of one's intentions, Bitcoin is here now and there's nothing anyone can do about it, especially the central banks. Amen, Vortex. Love it. That is where we're at, people. That is where we are at. And the sooner you grasp that by going and doing your own due diligence, your own research, go out and check Trace Mayer, Vortex, Caitlin Long, Bitcoin Meister, BTC Sessions or BTC Benny, Simon Dixon, to name a few. I'm probably going to miss somebody. Ansel Lindner. My brain's dead. If I've missed you, my apologies. But there's some really corking Bitcoin commentators, content producers out there that I encourage you to follow and build your strong hand. And you, as I did, will find your own preferred people that you won't miss one of their shows. And as many of you know, mine is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. I don't agree with every one of Adam's views, but what he has done is taught me to build my strong hand, and he helped me very quickly. And since I've been in Bitcoin, I've watched every single one of his shows. That's 7 a week, sometimes more than that, for 2.5 years, 3 years next May, and I continue to watch every show. Even his the Beyond Bitcoin show on a Saturday evening that is really nothing about Bitcoin, it's politics and everything else. Here's my take, people, as somebody willing to learn. I will listen to Adam's show talking about all that stuff, because if I can pull just one nugget of information that can help my Bitcoin journey, my life journey, my family journey, whatever it is, my health journey, then it was worth the hour. That's the way I view it. I didn't want to learn in school, but by golly, do I want to learn being involved in the Bitcoin overlay. I really do. So for those of you that want to leave, don't, please. Very briefly, let me just promote my show sponsors, justlearnbitcoin.com. I think Dan's in. Yeah, Dan's in tonight. Justlearnbitcoin.com is just a great resource if you want to learn about wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solution, including end-of-life planning, recovering coins sent to the wrong chain, and that can happen. You can even get a vanity address now if you want, that's your own designed address. They can build it for you. Questions about mining, pretty well anything to do with Bitcoin, do check out justlearnbitcoin.com. And if you click inside the site, if my cursor will come back to me, you know, they've got everything over there, and it is worth checking them out, people, seriously. You know, our mission, there's their mission. What is Bitcoin? Why buy and own Bitcoin? Their services, from wallet services, consulting. They've got incredible training courses over there. They've got a new shop, an apparel shop. I'm going to click on that briefly. Hopefully my internet won't let me down. And, you know, if you want to just promote Bitcoin with merchandise, whether it's drinking from a mug, where it's wearing a hoodie or a t-shirt or a scarf or anything, look, it's all here. It's brilliant. And I do believe there's a discount. Dan, sorry, mate, I've done it again. I know what the discount code is for the Bitcoin bracelets, but I can't quite remember what the code is for the apparel shop. So, Dan, if you can throw that in the chat quickly, that would be great. I think why is something telling me Discoin? I don't know what it is, 25% off. But Dan, if you pop that in there, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll shout that out to everyone. But it is worth checking out, people, because there's some incredible Bitcoiners that work on justlearnbitcoin.com that would really give you great information and great assistance if you're new. Thank you, Dan. Holiday 25, all capital letters, all, no gaps. If you go there, you can get Holiday 25. I think it's 25% off. Am I right, Dan? Off merchandise over there. 30% off, I believe, on the Bitcoin bracelets. When I finish the show, within 5 minutes, I will put all the notes below. All these links will be down there. I want to give a good shout out to my friend down in Australia, just bitcointothemoon.com. I've met him in person. He's a great guy. He's got his own merch store as well. So, the links will be down there. There's links, if you're brand new to this, watching this in the future, to Coinbase. And if you use my link, I think they give you $10 and me $10 or whatever. So it's worth using the link. They might not be doing it anymore, but it's down there if you want to use it. There's a link down there to a video I did for the commentators that I think you should follow. And what I tend to do is each year do an updated video, because some people that are pro Bitcoin all of a sudden lose their marbles, go off. They have a Adam Meister calls it a phrase. They have a brainstorm and bomb out. There's a American terminology for it, and I can't remember what it is. But so my annual content creators to follow sort of changes, and I like to do a video once a year on the people I think it's well worth following their shows and their channels. So I'll probably do that at some point. But whilst you're on justlearnbitcoin.com, please don't forget to scroll down and find the black box here that will take you over to Pastor Phil's cause that Rocky and I are heavily involved in and heavily behind. And I want to give a quick shout out, if I may, to Chris Gilliard, the lead developer of Mimblewimble Coin, because Rocky had his 14.2 Bitcoin spammed out of him, or scammed out of him, by a phishing site, and so he lost them all. And yet Chris Gilliard, a wonderful gentleman, he has donated MWC to the equivalent of 14.2 Bitcoin to Phil's cause, which is hugely generous. And Chris needs a big shout out for that, seriously. So, you can donate, people, with, hang on a sec, Litecoin, if you got a little bit, Bitcoin, or B-Rhodium, if you got a little bit, obviously Bitcoin. As Rocky said, bitcoinstolen.com is the domain name that will also take you over there to this site. If you want to know how Phil lost his Bitcoin using a Trezor. Now, I'm a massive fan of Trezor, and this could have happened to me, you, anyone, and Phil was simply doing a firmware update when he was redirected to a scammer site and his Bitcoin was gone. And you imagine losing 14 Bitcoin at 7k, that's bad enough. But what if Bitcoin hits 100k? That's gone forever. I'm hoping that the community that I'm building personally will at least head over to the site, read Phil's story, watch these videos on how he lost it, where Rocky explains that, and literally head over there and donate maybe $1 worth, $5 worth, £5 worth, just something to Phil's cause, because I believe a lot of people doing a little can do a lot of good. So 1,000 people out there on Bitcoin Twitter or social media, maybe donating $10 could get, Phil just over one Bitcoin back. When you read his story and you see that he was in Vietnam, he was a pastor for 16 years in the church. Him and his wife had taken in disadvantaged children, adopted them and brought them up as their own. He's done so much good in the world. It's horrific that this should have happened to this lovely man, who I now call a friend because we speak regularly. And he's just a lovely, lovely man outside of my friendship with him. So I just want to encourage you now in December 2019 or in the future, just head over to bitcoinstolen.com, read the family story. You can read Phil's family story in 5 minutes or under, and it'll pull on your heartstrings, and then go over there and make some kind of tiny donation with a minute bit of cryptocurrency and help Phil. Okay, so people, it is great that you're on. Thanks for your support. I'm going to end the show as I always do with a quote. I hope you like the quotes. A bit of feedback would be good. If you don't like them, tell me as well. But I'm very into quotes, and I love this one. Let us make your future now, and let us make your dreams tomorrow's reality. So your Bitcoin dreams, by building your strong hand, could very well be yours and your family's tomorrow reality. Not tomorrow literally, yeah? But get into this savings mentality, buy and store your Bitcoin properly and hold your Bitcoin, okay? And then what you do today, what you do over the next 5 years, 10 years, your family's tomorrows will be absolutely incredible because of your foresight, your willingness to get out there and take a risk and invest into Bitcoin and get down that rabbit hole. People, thank you for supporting me on my channel as always, and that is heartfelt. I really mean it. That is the end of the show. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so that you get notified when I go live. I go live every Monday and every Thursday at 6 p.m. UK time. I think that is 1 p.m. on the East Coast, New York side of America. I believe it's 10 a.m. over on the West Coast of the US. I think that's about right. I don't know what it is in the middle. There's some kind of weird setup between time frames, etc. But I think I'm getting that right. The squares are going to pop up at the end of the show, so do click on the squares. Coming up on Thursday will be the whatever date that is, getting pretty close to Christmas. I'll be getting into the festive spirit, so join me on Thursday, peeps. That is it from me, Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. Share this out across social media, and I will catch you all on Thursday's show. Bye for now. Cheers, everyone.